Therapy Army! Let's be having you. We've just finished a 220-something podcast on Saeed TV, Straight Jacket podcast. It got heated. Make sure you check it out after you've watched us here. Make sure you go over to Saeed and check his Straight Jacket podcast out. Big up to every one of you love and light people. Here comes Tom. Big up to Tom as well. No, I think we're getting the second this week. Not trying to be negative, but based on our prediction, United will play well in a game, then switch off the next one. Typical United. Well, I don't know. No Bruno on Thursday. Maguire leading the team out as captain. Deadwood another 10 years till 2003. I mean, our leadership comes from the captain, but no respect for him yet. 100%. Big up to you. Big up to Judge. Good question. Imo depends on everything that approaches our game. He has to prioritize the PL ones. Yeah, 100%. Big up to you, Tom. Tom, how you doing? How's it in sunny Sheffield? Please tell me the sun's shining in Sheffield today.
Yeah, listen, big up everybody as always. Therapy Army. Everybody, anyway, give a like, subscribe. As always, people, get the channel growing, get the channel sharing the community. Look, it's sunny. It's better than Manchester, I guess. What's it like in Manny?
It's cloudy but really warm.
It's cloudy but humid, as we say. Cloudy
but humid. But man's not hot. I'm dressed like it's winter. Man's not.
Listen, we're about to turn up the heat anyway, aren't we? We're about to turn up the heat on this club, but
yeah, big up to Kelly's Romney Lassie. Big up to Tom. Saeed will join us shortly. Big up to every one of you. Please, we're 70 away from 7,000. Please join the community and big up. So let's get into this quickly, Tom, while we're there. This is what it shares of Manchester United have plummeted, fell 13% on Monday after reports said the Glazer family was confident securing investment would allow them to remain as owners of the club. The PL is recommended to add extra 4 cameras outside the penalty area next season for improved Hawkeye. So we'll see. Big up. Somebody's in there, Saeed, saying, Norin versus Saeed. No problem.
Tom, were you watching that one? Crazy.
Start off, mate. No, I'm not European. The worst you could do is trigger me about the Europa League. I hate it. I despise it.
I know. That's all I'm going to say now. Europa League, that's all I'm going to say.
I despise it. The quickest way to get from me to get my blood pressure boiling is that. Big up to everybody, by the way, that's in here. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit that bell. It lets you know when we're next live, people. We've got a big show today. I think no more than to kick off Saeed. We've touched it a little bit on Saeed's channel, but let me just go this with what he's saying. So this is having real, their little PR games, their games is having a real effect on the shares of Manchester United. So the shares of Man United, big up Khalis Mohamed Lassie, Chief Editor United Real Therapy, big up, brother. Shares of Man United PLC Man U fell 13% on Monday after reports said the Glazer family confidence securing investment that will allow them to remain as owners of the football club. To me, the funniest thing is, so why then, listen, if that was the case, then why are they gone through all this bidding thing and everything else? It's just mad to me. But you know what? You can never put anything past the Glazers. Glazers will do anything. But Saeed, their PR is having a detrimental effect on their share price. What does that tell you?
Yeah, exactly, man. It's not doing what it's meant to do, innit? That's exactly what it is, man. Listen, I think Monday, nice day to put this news out. Mark Ogden, you know what I mean, reporting from ESPN. Nice day when everything's got a bit quiet, you know. Everything's got a bit quiet. So what should you do? Ramp up the news about the Glazers and whatnot. You know what I mean? Obviously, we've not heard anything. United have won as well. So, you know, we needed a bit of negativity this morning. You know what I mean? So-called negativity. So I think for me, you know, United sells news, and I think ultimately he's had a source. We don't know what that source could be. We don't know. End of the day, it could be, you know, well, I think this happened, or well, I just heard about this in a club, and it's hearsay. It could be hearsay evidence, and obviously ESPN will run with that news, and they'll take it for whatever they see best fit. I think it's just to ramp up the bids. I think it's to ramp up the pressure, get the players. Sorry, the two largest. You know, people involved in that, Sheikh Jassim and obviously, you know, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, to get them maybe a little bit more kind of like, you know, basically put the money where the mouth is, really. You know, I mean, that's ultimately what it's down to. You know, and they want to try and put it out there. You know, minority. You know, well, we've got this minority here, and it's not. I wouldn't say it's blackmailing, but it's almost as if it's like, well, you know, if you don't do this, then we could stay. You know, so make sure you guys put the money up and give us what we want. You know, obviously they're taking their time. Sheikh Jassim, Jim Radcliffe. They're saying, you know what, well, this is what we think is most suitable for what we need to do, for what this club is, you know, where it is at the minute, the depth that's included. There's a lot to do, man. Yeah, so for you to then say we must pay this amount, well, hold on a minute. You've put this club into this absolutely bad situation, and you want us to pay that? Like, we get it, you own the football club, we get it. You know, this is what the club is worth. I understand that you are business people, but at the same time, you have to be reasonable. You have to meet us halfway. But they're not doing that, and that's where the issue is for me. They're not meeting people halfway. They want what they want, and there's no leeway. There's no kind of like, you know what? It's come to the point where it's just greed, isn't it? It's pure greed, and that is why, for me, they are holding out as much as they can. And this deadline that we hearing about, yeah, it's there, but at the same time, I thought it was there last time. I thought that was it, you know. So I don't know. I'm not getting too emotionally invested right now. I was at one point, but now I'm almost like.
Then he spoke to me. Then he spoke to me, and I told you, take it easy. Don't fall for the Glazer games. Tom, I'm gonna quickly come to you and say, we've seen it before, innit? We've seen it all. We've expected this from the Glazers, man. We've seen it all. But Tom, before we get into the main topics of the thing, just a quick 2 minutes. Just give it to us. What is them? Like here, can you actually respond to this? Big up Georgie B.
Big up, man.
Investors are clearly showing what they think of the Glazers stock price will decimate if they don't sell. Hedge funds know that too. Yeah, look, listen, with investment banks, hedge funds, and all these people, right? Let me just sound this out for a lot of people. If these guys were serious, these executives, right? If they were serious, right? They are big business people, and the Glazer family have one of the biggest assets in sport in history, whether it be football, American football, anything. Everybody knows the brand of Manchester United. Everybody knows it if you're in business. You're telling me, right, these people have only just found out recently that Manchester United need investment into it. Behave. That's all I'm going to say, behave. The stadium is crumbling. The roof's leaking. The toilets are flooding. The ground's decayed. You look at one side of Old Trafford, it's all glitz and glamour. You go down to near the train side or anything near Munich Tunnel, mate, it's completely, you'd think you're in a different ground. And when Man United don't make the ballot sheet for a supposed redevelopment of Euro 2028, or if people want to call it like that, whether Man United and Old Trafford's being redeveloped or not, that stadium should be furnished. That stadium should be polished, and it should make that ballot sheet. Even if it doesn't end up hosting it, it should be on the sheet. And if you have to get a replacement in, you do it. Ultimately, with what the Glazer family have done here, with the shares and everything, all I'm going to say is this. These guys have been to hedge funds. Before they even settled this whole process with Rain, they had been to hedge funds. They had been to investment banks. They'd been to one of the biggest and well-known ones in America, in Apollo. And Apollo turned to them and said, you want us to fund you to buy your siblings out just so you can hold a business that we will have no laws or no say in? So you basically want us to be your sugar daddy while you what? Make money from only the business that you own, but you're the guys that need our help, not the other way around. And we can take our business elsewhere. At the end of the day, the Glazer family have set up this process for one reason and one reason only. You don't go this deep if you don't think there's something worth going this far for. And what I mean by that is, Sheikh Jassim or Sir Jim Ratcliffe, mate, you don't go this far into a process, and these geezers are still in it, if they don't think that they're going to have a chance of buying it. They don't, because at the end of the day, there's buying something, there's being a businessman, but there's also having your reputation. And at the end of the day, these two people, they have the financial backing behind them and they have the business brains behind them. And they look at Manchester United as the Glazer family. This is your chance to get out of here. This is your ticket. None of this BS about £10 billion when an investment company come in. An investment company, I don't care who it is, from Adam, will not go to the Glazer family and say, you invest in a new stadium, you invest in a training ground, get the team successful again and all this.
Yeah.
Man United will not be a £10 billion club until at least 2050. Never mind any projects about 2028 or 2030 or anything like that. Doesn't happen. Manchester United is one thing and one thing only for the Glazer family. It is one of two of their biggest sporting assets. And Manchester United was always going to go before they ever sold the Buccaneers. Always. So at the end of the day, they're going to drag it out as long as they can. Have they ever hired a manager very, very quickly? No. Have they ever sacked a manager very quickly? No. Have they ever signed a player very quickly? Nah. They haven't, have they?
Stay
So
true.
who's to think that they're going to go through this process? This means more to them than any of those things that I have just mentioned, because this involves them and this is what's going to hit their bank balances. And at the end of the day, whether it's Sheikh Yassim, whether it's Jim Ratcliffe, or whether it's an American consortium group, these people know that the Glazer family will not get these sort of offers ever again. And in many cases, when the Glazer have asked for a third round of bids, the way I look at that is they're desperate. They are desperate to get this price up.
Yeah.
Because if they weren't desperate, Saeed and Nuruddin, and
exactly,
they would have taken Elliott Management's offer. They would have taken Carlisle's offer. They would have taken Oaktree Capital's minority offers.
They would have took Arthur.
Yeah, listen, those offers are just sat there on the sidelines. And that's all that they can use in many cases, as Nuruddin quoted it as, to blackmail Sheikh Yassim, to blackmail Sir Jim. But these guys, they ain't going to fall for your BS.
No, they're not.
Sir Jim was prepared to bankroll Chelsea Football Club and buy it for £4 billion. That shows he has an intent to buy a Premier League football team. When you have £4 billion just lying around that you can pay for it now. So at the end of the day, with the Glazer family, you'll get to the 28th of April. You will have probably another week or two where it will be absolutely dead, stonewall silent, as it has been. And at the end of the day, as we always say, just as a final point, with all these journalists and all this BS, right? Nobody knows the numbers.
No.
Nobody knows what
Sheikh
Yassim's bid. Nobody knows what the Glazer family really want. Nobody knows, effectively, what the Glazer family's asking price for Man United is, other than just a prediction based upon what Man United's worth.
But
and
Tom,
you had a bit more on because it's Man United.
Is that because of the NDA? Is that because of the NDA?
Yeah, because of the NDA.
Of course it's the NDA,
exactly.
Saeed. When you sign a non-disclosure fee, and listen, Nuruddin calls him Thomas Silias anyway. Thomas Siliakis quoted it on Twitter when he put a tweet out, and he stated that the whole process is a farce. Because you can't quote somebody, like the Glazer family have been doing. You can't go to Sheikh Yassim or any of these parties and say, we want £6 billion, because, why? They aren't supposed to be in the process at this stage. Fact. The Glazer family are sitting in their millionaire mansions in Miami. The Rain Group are the people who are speaking to the parties, not the Glazer family. And at the end of the day, as I've always reiterated and as I will always say, you put £6 billion on the Glazer family's table, or near that, they are going to run for the hills because they know it and themselves know it. If you stay on now, that price of £6 billion is going down. It's never going to go to £10 billion, no matter how much investment you put in. So at the end of the day, the Glazer family are doing what they've always done. They hold out until it suits them. And when it suits them, do you know something? As soon as that £6 billion or whatever's on the table, mate, suddenly they'll find the gears. They'll go from first to fifth. Oh, mate, we've got the deal of the century. It's like the heist. And as soon as that money's on the table, mate, that deal's going to go. View.
Listen, Tom, you've summed it up perfectly. They're playing their games, and we're not gonna have our intelligence insulted in the way they insult our intelligence. But we're gonna move on, guys. Listen, and currently Manchester United have 9 players injured, 9 first teamers injured currently. All right, a lot of it.
It could rise any time, man. You just don't know what's going to go on.
Say don't.
No, I'm just saying that, just, honestly, man, it's warm-ups. I don't know, man. You know one thing, though? When I'm at the training ground, when I'm obviously the stadium, when you watch it, they're more intense than ever. These training sessions that they're putting up, when they do before the game, they're very intense, man. Van der Gaag doesn't play around, man. It's like a militant Nordin, man. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they're doing a lot of drills, they're doing a lot of stuff. Before, I remember they used to spend like 20 minutes practicing shots. You know what I mean? So now they're not doing that anymore. There's a lot of, kind of close proximity football. You know what I mean? There's a lot of tight spaces. So they are doing a lot of them drills more better. But you know what, man? Like I said, it's a lot of games. Like I said, I agree with you, Norton. It's a lot of games. A lot of, intense now about the way we play football now. There's a lot of running involved. There's a lot of pressing involved. This Man United team, at least one thing that they do is they press better now. They move better. Last year, we didn't hear about any injuries. Everyone was available every game because obviously they weren't running enough. You know what I mean? So now, because they are running more and they are, there's a lot of muscular injuries now more than ever. I still don't know what the Varane injury is still, I don't know what it is.
Ankle, apparently.
Ankle. Okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking to myself,
they're saying 2 to 3 weeks, but
but
believe it if you would. That's Man United's medical department. They say
2 to 3 weeks. The season's done, Tom.
They said Christian Eriksen, mate, season's done. We've still got another 2 months to play yet, and he was only out for 2 months.
Yeah,
but that was supposed to be a leg breaker.
Back in his boots as well.
Yeah.
Phil Jones, if you add Phil Jones, that has 10 players out because he said Phil Jones has not registered to play in the Premier League and hasn't completed a session all season. So we want to wish Phil Jones well. Last time we saw him on telly in the League Cup, he didn't look well. He looked really thin.
He looked pale.
He looked quite gone. So we wish him well. I hope that put the banter aside, people. All of the memes and stuff like that. Put that aside. I'm just really worried, guys. I predicted this. I said it. And I wish I was wrong, Saeed. Some of my predictions, I wish I was wrong.
That's what I always say to you. You just stop making these predictions. That's what I said to you, Nordin. You just actually stop making predictions.
Saeed, I can see what's coming, though. I can see it.
On it, man. Now, I know what you mean. It's like you've been in the game a long time, Nordin. You've seen a lot of football. You know what I mean? You're older than me. You're older than Tom. You've seen a lot of this. I get what you mean. But at the same time, the World Cup's been involved. I don't know about you, but I'm drained. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm drained. Like, so imagine what the players feel. The players are mentally fatigued. You're looking at Saka yesterday. He looks like he's mentally fatigued as well. Like, I know he's physically there, but he's mentally fatigued as well because obviously it's the pressure. It's everything that's involved. These Man United players are playing game after game after game. And again, like I said, they're footballers. They're supposed to do that. But at the same time, there's been an unprecedented amount of football that we've played.
Yeah.
It's a lot of football. So some of them things, I think sometimes they are injured, but they're not injured at the same time. Does that make sense? Because their mind's telling them that they're injured. But then after that, really, they could play, but the manager's like, no, we don't want to take that risk. Like Martial, there's going to be a hesitancy to play him every game. I don't think he's going to play against Sevilla. Then he'll play in the FA Cup. It's going to have to be one of the two, So I feel like it's going to be that sort of season and that sort of end of the season where if you go beyond this game, United are still playing 3 games a week till the end of the season, and it is scary, but that's the reality of what Man United is. It's an unprecedented season. Ten Hag has took it seriously. I'm happy with that because I think for me, I want to win trophies, and I also want the manager to set a mentality in the squad that we don't just think that every game's just just throw it in the bin. There has to be that, because I always think for me, if they lose games, the bottom mentality carries on. Whereas I think if they keep winning, we just keep that momentum. That's just the way I kind of look at my United team. You view it differently, Nodi. You think you go out of the competition, then you can concentrate 1 game a week. But 1 game a week.
No, not 1 game. Listen, I just want to get out of Europa League because I hate the Europa League.
No, I understand. I'm just saying
I
to
hate the
you,
Europa League.
for me, when you do lose one game, and obviously that could be the Europa League, you don't know what knock-on effect you will have, like going out of a competition. Luckily, this season, what I've liked about this United team is that we've not been knocked out of a competition. Do you guys understand how good that is so far? Like we've not been knocked out of a competition. Like
Well, Saeed,
you can roll your eyes, but you don't understand
listen,
that.
you know what I'm going to say is that I hope touch wood. You better touch some wood. You better touch some wood 3 times because
But
I'm telling you.
but you got to realize, Nordin, like
Because Saeed, just do me a favor. Touch the wood in front of you 3 times.
no, because I believe in this team, man. I believe in what Man
No,
United are.
Saeed, seriously, can you just touch the wood 3 times?
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. I believe in this team.
You telling me I put the kiss and death on things, Saeed?
No, I'm not. But the thing is,
Your
though,
beloved Manchester
what
United
I was
could
gonna-
be out of the FA Cup, could be out of the shitty Europa League. I'm
no,
not.
but what I was trying to say to you is my point was about trying to jinx it. But what I was trying to say is that this Man United team over the course of the season have shown that they are a cup team. They are a cup team, Nordin. Like, Trump, I don't know if you agree with me, but this team thrives in cup competitions. I know the Sevilla was a bit of a situation there, but I do think the way that this Man United team are playing now, they look like they enjoy the cup competitions more than maybe the Premier Leagues where, you know, there's a different set of tactics and maybe teams are sitting back and whatnot. When it's in the cup competition, the teams almost like to, you know, play out more. Then United just go bang, we go at them. You know?
Yeah.
That's just the way I kind of look at it, really.
Well, let me just get this super chat. Big up. No, Saeed, listen, I don't disagree with you. Just need you to touch the wood 3 times for me. Just for me. Just do it for me. Just touch that wood.
I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. No.
What?
No. No.
Can you please just do it for me? It's important.
No, I might do it later on, but for now, no, I think for me, I'm comfortable.
Why are you trying to trigger me? Why do you want me to be a madman? People laugh at me or like, why? Why do you want that?
Just one of them, man. Like I said to you, this season, I'm just confident in this Ten Hag team, man.
Okay. Okay. No, I'm not saying that 100%, and I agree with you. In the cups, we've been amazing, but I just hate the Europa League. I hate the Europa League. I'm here for FA Cup. I'm here for the league, but I hate Europa League. And I would rather have a season where we don't play in Europe, so the manager does the work he needs to do in a training ground. Let me just get this. Big up Shabat Hussein. It says here, we started on the wrong foot, Nuruddin. Here's a token for the appreciation and apology. Love your passion, dedication to United. Don't agree with some of the things you say, but I agree with most of it. Big up, It's a big up, Tom, as well. Listen, big up to you, Shabat Hussein. We never start. It's to me, it's just about football. It's about football opinion. We never start on the wrong foot. Love and light. Thank you so much. But Saeed, I just want to get your opinion on both of you. Actually, I'll go to Saeed first. What do you think of this? Official now, Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw, Casemiro, Marcus Rashford have been nominated for the Premier League Team of the Season.
Yeah.
Who do you think should be in there? Who do you think should
be in there as well? The hair should be in there, I think, for me. Mentioned. It's going to be what? What's the word I'm looking for?
Golden Glove.
Golden Glove. So if he's not in there, I don't understand why he's not in there. Maybe because of the 7-0s and some of the, you know what I mean, the bad performances he's been in the side. But Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro should be in there. You know, but I think for me, Casemiro won't be in there because if Partey wins the league, then Partey will be in there. If Rodri wins the league, Rodri will be in there. So it just depends on how their formation is. But Casemiro surely got to be in the team of the season. His impact has been felt. You've seen the class, you've seen the quality. You know, Lisandro for me could be in there as well. I know Gabriel's got an opportunity to be in there. Luke Shaw, yeah, I think as well. Him, Zinchenko, there's been a couple of people in there. Dan Burn maybe. But yeah, I think I agree with all of them, to be honest with you. Who else would I say deserves an outside chance? No, not really. Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno should be in there.
Yeah, I think for me, because it's not been Bruno's standards, that's why he's not in there. Normally he has a better standard than this.
But he's not played at that position. He's played different positions all season.
But there you go then. And that's why they put into account who's been better in that position. Maybe Odegaard has been better this season. But there's been other players like De Bruyne will be in there. Yeah. So, You know what I'm saying? To just
Tom, your points of views on that. Who do you think should be in there? But big up Khalees Mohammed, his chief editor, United Real Therapy. He says, congrats to Rafael Varane and his family on the birth of his baby girl. Yeah, congratulations to Varane. Congratulations, everybody who's born in the same day in the same hospital as well. We don't know those parents, but we'd like to congratulate them on here as well, because we know she's not the only one that was born at that time.
Yeah.
So big up to all her other birthday twins. Tom, who should be in there?
Oh, well.
Who else should be in there?
I mean, where do we start at the end of the day with it all? Leitcher, like, has to be in it. De Gea, as well, for the contributions he's given to the team. You know, Casemiro, I'd say maybe all of those. Luke Shaw from the start of the season, but as soon as he rocked up to Wembley, after he hit that free kick that Casemiro scored from, I've not really seen much. I need to see the consistency there. That's the only thing I would say in that. But listen, De Gea should be in with a shout, especially if he wins the Golden Glove. But at the end of the day, we know with Man United, like, the only problem with us is we ain't competing for the big trophies. If Man United were in a title race, like the same way that Arsenal are, or we'd gone on to win, say, we're challenging the Champions League, and still in that competition at this point, then a lot more of our players would get the praise that they probably deserve. But that's just the standard, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I agree. Listen, I think overall, like I said, man, we want to win trophies, man. You know what I mean? I get all these, you know, team of the seasons and all that, but, you know, that's not a trophy, you know what I mean? That is just for the players, you know, kind of egos. It's good for the players to have that, you know, whatnot. But for me, you know, win them trophies, and then you're the real MVP. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about all these accolades and all that, man. I mean, there's so many players that never got to win. You know, did Paul Scholes ever win a Player of the Year award? I don't think he did. So, and Paul Scholes was amazing. Didn't really need that. Michael Carrick was so underrated. He didn't ever win one of them. So, and he was so vital to what Man United were. So, I don't really look at individual awards, man. Look at the way how Ballon d'Or is and all that, man. It's mad.
I mean, I can give the people a quick fact. Manchester United won the treble. David Ginola won the the writers' player of the season.
David Ginola. He was a good player, by the way. He was a good player, Nordin.
He's a good player, but we've just won the treble. Are you kidding me?
I know. That is
unbelievable. You can't make that up. Big up everybody, man. Big up to everybody. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button. Please go and check out after this. It went off. Lately, it's been going off because I'm frustrated. It's been going off. So he triggered me. He mentioned the Europa League on his channel, and he went off. So go and check out. Was it 220?
26, 226.
Yeah, 226. Go and check that out after we're done here, people. But listen, at the end of the day, we won a treble and they gave it to Ginola. That just tells you. That just tells you everything you need to know about individual. To me, if you're a Manchester United player and you're asked about individual awards, then you're moving like Harry Kane, mate. And I don't want Man United to be like Spurs. Even though some of the fan base is moving like we're Spurs with the Mickey Mouse trophies. Oh my God, don't even get me started. Jarvis Cocker said something about, let me just get it. Big up Jarvis. He said,
big up Jarvis.
Jarvis said something about more games means more drill. No, but he's not. I'm sorry, Jarvis. I reject this because he's not had the time on the training ground, because 3 games a week, you don't have the time. You're literally recovering again and then going again, recovering and going again. So you don't have the time. You do not have the time whatsoever. So I would agree if it was the FA Cup or the League Cup, I would agree. But not when you're in the Europa League. And also it makes sure that we play behind everybody else. Everybody can play on a Saturday, but we can never play on a Saturday.
One thing I agree with you, I don't like playing on a Sunday.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, I'll give you that one. I miss playing on
Sunday, Thursday is a headache, mate. It's a headache.
Yeah. Thursday's
supposed to be a day of rest. Big up Shabbat Hussein and another super chat. Norden, you've given me a mental health issue since left.
United have
given no 100% me too. But Tainak has given me so much to look forward to now. If the sale does happen, what's the first thing you do? Love from Kashmir. Listen, big up all my people in Kashmir, first of all. Absolute love and light to all my people in Kashmir. My brother Kazim, Amjad Kazim, from Kashmir, mate. I grew up with him. He's like a brother to me. So I cannot wait, Saddam Hussein, to visit. Actually, we were talking to him 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, and we're talking about maybe going to Kashmir, visiting him and his family there. We want to go there. We want to go there, man. So, inshallah, Saddam Hussein, if I'm coming to Kashmir, I'm letting you know. What's the first thing that I'll do? The first thing I'll do is get Manchester United Football Club. Man, the first thing I would do is build a stadium for the youth and the women inside Manchester. That's the first thing I would do.
Yep.
By the way, congratulations to our women's
semi-final.
First
Wembley.
ever FA Cup final at Wembley. We're going to play Chelsea on the 14th of May.
Yeah. The tickets went out. The tickets have gone out, by the way. So
yeah, I really want to get a ticket. I really want to get a ticket to go to that.
Yeah.
So big up to them.
No, you know what? No, I know what it means. If the sale doesn't happen with the first week, I think for me, training ground, man, and also redevelopment of Old Trafford. You know, the area around Old Trafford. I would love to have us a mall or whatnot. You know, like a mall.
Yeah.
Like a mall. You know, have like little, things that we can have, etc., etc. I think for me that would be.
5G, Saeed will definitely appreciate 5G.
But I already get 5G, Nuruddin. I'm not too bad with the 5Gs. You know what I mean?
It's
5G.
like the stadium.
Yeah, man. Listen, shout out to Vodafone, but they do me all right, man. The 5Gs are not too bad over there. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's not too bad for me. But overall, 100%, man. We need to fix up, man, and and get better infrastructure, man. You look at East Manchester, man. Look at East Manchester, Nuruddin.
Nah, of course.
Look at the way East Manchester is, man. It's amazing.
Of course. Look at the walk from Salford Quays, Media City, to the stadium along the canal, all that way. Restaurants, bars, Manchester United experience, all of that could look amazing. All of that could look amazing in that area. But Saeed, genuinely, how worried are you about these injuries, though? Genuinely.
I think
it's a huge week for Man United. Did you ever expect Man United to have so many players out? What's giving you confidence that Man United can beat Brighton?
Not really. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't feel confident at all. I'm just saying, when you just say 2-1 for the sake of it, like the way I said with Nottingham Forest, I just said 2-1. But I'm not really confident about Brighton. But with the injuries, I think it's gonna be a worry because Lisandro Martinez was a vital part in that defense, against Newcastle. Remember that day at Wembley when he just kept winning tackles, when he just wasting time. Like that kind of you always talk about them fouls where you give away and that.
The shithousery, Saeed. It's called the shithousery.
Shithousery. He does that for us in big games. Varane as well, a big blow. We won't have that. I'm worried about Danny Welbeck. Shout out to Danny Welbeck from Longside, innit? Big up massive, yeah. But
we should never have got rid of him, Saeed, honestly.
Listen, I know, but
we should never have got rid of him. I swear. Danny Welbeck now, in the last couple of years, would have saved us a lot.
I know, but I can
even though he's injury prone as well.
Yeah, I think for me though, when you look at it though, and you look at the situation with the manager, he's having to obviously mend it up. Shaw and Lindelof or Shaw Maguire will end up playing, but that's not the same as Varane and Lisandro Martinez. They have been the reason why we've been so good defensively in most of our games. Okay, we've had a 7-0, couple of games in there, 6-3, but ultimately, overall, this team has been very, very good defensively. It has been. There was at one point where Lisandro Martinez and Varane didn't concede a goal in how many games? There was a point where we didn't concede a goal in how many games, and that was because of them two. So,
but to be fair, Saeed, we've also conceded huge amount of goals.
No, but they isolated games though. They isolated games 6-3, 7-0.
Against the top 9 teams, we've conceded 29 goals away from home in the Premier League. That's staggering.
But then you would argue though, winning your top 6 games doesn't determine your season though, as well. You know what I mean? It's always the teams around you. To win the title, yes, you've got to beat the teams above you, but also you've got to beat the teams below you. That's why the teams that you see right now are relegated. They're getting relegated because you can't beat the teams in around them. You know what I mean?
Big up Ali. Listen, big up Ali. But what do you say to this though, Saeed? Saeed, when you play a lot of games, it catches up. To me, I'm worried about the fatigue next season. So that's why I'm begging for this sale to go through, Saeed, if it happens.
Like Liverpool.
And then we can have about 5 or 6 fresh players to come in to refresh the team. I'm telling you. Because I want Man United to try to challenge for a league title. I want Man United to be in the contention this time around next season. If the sale goes through, look at Liverpool. They've clocked out because they played so many games.
Yeah.
So many games last season. It's not just affected him last season, it affected him now.
Yeah. Like, I hear you, man, but at the same time, man, I'm never gonna double down. I'm never gonna say to myself, you know what, nah, for this to substitute this feeling. I want to be. It gets me excited, man. In a season where you're not playing a lot of games, I want to be playing every game. I want to be in. It's more of a bet. This season, I'm not gonna lie, I am a bit like knackered, mentally drained because of the World Cup involved. But in a normal season, I want to be in every competition to win it. But again, I understand that it's a risk of injury. But where isn't a risk of injury? You can get injury anytime. The World Cup, these pointless friendlies when you go to around the world, these Euro nations, people are getting injured.
No, you're right. Listen, in principle, you're right, Saeed. In principle, you are right. You can get injured anytime. You can get injured in training. A lot of players get injured in training. But the types of injuries that Manchester United are picking up lately, right, have been injuries that are related with playing so many games. Groin, a lot of muscular. Like Shaw is a muscular thing. That's why I knew he wasn't coming back soon. Everybody was telling me he's coming back soon. But for me...
No, but I hear you. I actually hear you. But at the same time, I just look at it and I think, what have we got left like in this thing? What have we got now? We've shown it throughout the whole season that we've been a cup competition team, and that's what this team has become, a cup competition. So why get rid of one thing that's made this Man United team so good and actually risen to the occasion? When they go finals, Europa League, it's semi-finals, 2 games, and then you're in the final. I know you don't want to hear that, but that's where Ten Hag is thinking. He's thinking, hold on a minute, we're literally, after you beat Sevilla, 2 games away from winning the final, another competition. Then obviously with the FA Cup game, you're 1 game away, but then you've got to probably play Man City, and that's not going to be easy at all. But again, what a final that would be in a Manchester derby. Then you've got to put into consideration the amount of effort and the amount of mileage we'll be putting into that game. You know that, Nuruddin. So you got we and the fixture list as well. They're crazy, man. We got to play FA Cup on that day. Then we've got to play. Is it Thursday, Thursday again against Tottenham, innit? And then we've got to play Sunday again. So, bro, against the Aston Villa team who are on fire at the minute, Nuruddin. I don't know if you know that right now. But
I watched them. Yeah. So we play Brighton on Sunday, and then we play against Spurs 8:15 on Thursday. That's bad for the travelling fans on a school night as well. That's crazy.
School night, school night.
And then we play Villa on a Sunday 2:00.
Yep, there you go.
And then we're away again on a Thursday, away to Brighton 8:00.
Yeah, Brighton. When is that one? Sorry.
That one, Brighton is the 20th. It's the 4th of May.
4th of May.
So we play Villa on the 30th of April, Sunday, and then on the Thursday, the following Thursday, we play Brighton away, and then we got West Ham. Then we got West Ham on the 7th of May on a Sunday again. Look, Thursday, Sunday. This is how mad it is, and then we're playing. I think some of those games are going to be rescheduled because we cannot. If we're still in the Europa League, we're not going to be playing those Thursdays, are we?
There's no time to put them in. You know that, by the way. There's no time to rearrange them games. You know that. Big up, Tom. There's no time to rearrange them. Then West Ham on a Sunday. Andy, big up Andy in the chat. Then you got West Ham on a Sunday. It's the West Ham away, isn't it? So, bro, it's that's why I can't look too far. We can't look too far, Nuruddin. We just got to take each game as it comes. It's all cliche, but you have to take each game as it comes. There's no time to dwell ahead. I know it sounds, you know what I mean, like
no, sorry.
I'm sounding like a philosophical. Is it called? I can't get the words out of my mouth. Philosophical. I know, but you have to take each game as it comes.
Yeah.
You got. I don't know when we're going to fit Chelsea in. Man. Chelsea at home.
It's crazy. No. It's really.
And by then, you've got to hope that Man United have made top 4 by then, because if we're not, oh my God! Imagine like you're what do you call it? You're scratching for top 4, and you've got out the Europa League by then. and then it's a case of right, you know. So it's
That
mad.
100%. Tom, I'm gonna ask you, out of all the 9-10 players who were injured, how many players do you want back?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? We want all of them back?
You want all of them back? Yeah.
Yeah, you want them all back, but you can't have all of them back. Who do you want back?
So what? Like your top three?
Who do you think is important for the team to have back?
Oh, blimey. Both of the centre halves and Rashford.
Okay, we can't have Martinez. We can't have Donny. We can't have Phil Jones.
So why are you giving me them as options though?
No, but I'm just asking, out of Rashford, out of Sabitzer, out of Shaw, out of Varane, out of Garnacho.
Okay, we'll have Varane because I think we need one of the centre halves. We'll have Rashford because really, if we're being honest, he's our only clinical goal scorer in the final third and has been pretty much most of the season. I'd want someone like Malacia back. I would, because I just think he can play the positions that we need. Yes, we're sure he can play the left centre half role and things like that, but it's not compatible. And we've never seen. I don't think he's ever played left centre back. Has he played left centre back with Varane? I can't remember. I think he played it with Lindelof, didn't he? So at the end of the day, there's all of that to think about. But ultimately, we have to look at the final details of it. And I just think Malacia, at the end of the day, he can give you the left back position, but he can also give you the right back. And at the end of the day, right now, we don't even have a natural left back to play. We have to play Diogo Dalot there. That's just how bad this is at this moment in time for us. But at the end of the day, players like Garnacho and stuff, I'd love them to come back. Just not because, we are desperate to get them, but the pressure of you're actually fighting for something toward the end of the season. Young players like Garnacho, they need to learn how to deal with that pressure. As we're seeing now, players like Saka and stuff, big game moments where you're in a title race, you're in a Euro final, your team relies on you to put the ball in the back of the net and finish a game off. Like, if it just don't happen, that pressure goes on your mind worse and worse. Yeah, and especially with us, we've been to such as Brighton, and we've been embarrassed 4-0 last year. Will the PTSD of those players that were at that game this time last year pretty much play the same part that they did last year? And will we hold 4? Will we hold whatever? Because at the end of the day, the way that we look at this is the players that we have fit are the only essentially the players that we can have from now to the end of the season. The key ones we need our goal scorer back, which is Marcus Rashford. We need one of the centre halves who have been absolutely exceptional this season, whether it be Varane or Martinez, and Varane's the only one you can have out of those two. So you'd have to go for that.
Right. So you're saying Rashford and Varane. So
I'd go Rashford, Varane, Malacia.
So who you having back quickly?
I think for me it's Lisandro Martinez and Rashford.
No, but you can't have him. He's out for the season. Out of the ones that we don't know how long.
Sorry.
So the ones that might play for the season.
Varane and Rashford.
Okay. Did you hear Erik ten Hag's comments on Sky yesterday?
No, what did he say?
He basically said that that there's no way he's ever going to play Maguire as a left-sided centre half. No way.
Oh.
He said his angles are all wrong. He said he's not good at defending with his on his left foot down that channel, and he gets found out.
So that
he didn't say he gets found out, but he said he's not good at that.
So in a back, if you play a back three and you put him as the left-sided centre back, that works if you think about it, because you have the added cover of the fullback, and obviously one of your midfielders would drop in so he can drive forward.
But Tom,
we're not going to play back three. That's the thing.
If you listen to it honestly, he literally said, because that Dave Jones guy said to him, "Oh yeah, you're going to play this," and he said, and he goes, "Not under me." He said, "Not under me." He said, "Not under my management, not this season." He said the angles are different. He's not comfortable on defending on the left-hand side, but Victor is.
Listen. Let's be real, though. Right?
He said that live on television. Sorry. What does that tell you? You've been playing there. Maguire's been playing there all that time, And none of those coaches realised the angles.
What? And then
There
at
you go.
29 years old,
Kill it.
being the club captain of Man United, suddenly he's got to change his position. Come on.
Yeah.
He's been found out.
This is what he said word for word.
We said, though, didn't we, at the end of last season? A lot of these players are going to get found out, whether they can play the roles or even their actual natural positions. Like, who'd have thought Luke Shaw could actually play as a centre-half for 90 minutes?
Yeah.
But he couldn't even run for 90 minutes, let alone play another position last season. Just like same thing with Rashford. A lot of people, is he a centre forward? Is he a left winger? What is he? Same thing with Wan-Bissaka. Let's be honest, right? I think a lot of people did not give him a chance under this manager.
No. I wanted him told them in January.
When I heard Palace, Wolves, 30-40 million pounds, I thought, Jesus Christ, get the pens out and get it signed straight away, because I didn't see what he could bring. Now, when we've heard about stories that Wan-Bissaka as a kid and Crystal Palace youth system, he was a winger, I can see why. He can beat a player. Little shimmy with your feet and dry
Would
passing.
you ever see, because of his pace, would you ever see Wan-Bissaka being played as a centre-half?
No.
No. I think back three, maybe.
The awareness, he's not aware. He's
The
not
awareness is not
aware.
aware. In the back three, on the right-hand side, maybe, yeah, but no. Keep him right wing back, man.
Yeah,
keep him
like right back, right wing back. I wouldn't.
So you're saying you the two crucial players that you would want back for these two games are
Varane and Rashford. Yeah, I've seen Dalot play the left wing back. I think Dalot at left back. I was impressed.
He looked better, didn't he?
He looked better. You know what, man? I think maybe that might be a position for him to kind of look into and think, you know what? While you get back into form, obviously he's a right back in it. Let's not kid ourselves in it. But ultimately,
listen. Let's end on a good note. That pass from Anthony, absolutely magical, world class. That pass is world class. And I'm not saying it's world class, but that pass was world class.
He called him Robin.
Yeah, and Anthony, though, let's be honest, though, he is coming into his stride a little bit now. Like, we saw at the start of the season the swagger that he was giving off and that sort of that vibe. But it's all right doing that, but we need to see it in your football, not in your personality at the end of the day. Because for what you might have in a personality, you might lack as a football player. Or the other way, but the other way around, as we say, you have players who are some of the driest people at interviews, but as a football player, they know how to ball, they know how to play. At the end of the day, and with Anthony, I think you've got to look at it as the unfair criticism that he's had. He's here, he's new, he's come for big money, yes, but he's still young. He's going
to get better.
I don't even think he's from his 20th birthday or 23rd birthday or whatever is he right now. Like,
but Tom,
listen, cut the guy some slack.
You know, the only thing when we ask Saeed, when we go to the stadium, he's so transparent which way he's going to shoot. Saeed, do you remember Wayne Rooney when Wayne Rooney came? Tom, you remember as well. Wayne Rooney like that bending shot, you know, because he looks better. You know, that far post. Wayne Rooney then started to develop hitting the near post. We need him to hit the near post.
He's actually running at people 1v1. I like that.
The only thing with Anthony is if he can't strike it as good as he can with his left, with his right, then the only thing you can really do is what you say is just there. You've got to drive at them, but you've got to drive at them at the side of them. For example, the best example I could use, when we was at the Emirates and we played Arsenal, you remember with Bukayo Saka when he just got that yard every single time on Luke Shaw. He always got that yard, and Eriksen played. And he tried to do the same thing, and he still got that yard. If you can't fire with your right foot outside the box, the best thing that you can do is drive at them with your left foot. That is all you can
100%.
do. And if they blow you out of it, like Dan Burn did in, say, the Wembley final, then you've just got to take that risk, haven't you?
And Tom, both of you, I'm going to ask you, did you see the look that he gave Maguire? And I think that was a penalty, and that should have been a second yellow and red card.
We got away with that one. That was a penalty.
We got away with it.
The only thing that I can give him is that his hand was kind of almost caught in between everyone, but it was clumsy. You give it. It's like Gabriel, the foul Gabriel on Paqueta.
He's the referee, though, isn't it? I know we mess about and take the mess.
Listen, did you see the way he looked at he looked at him 1 minute, Tom? Did you see the way he looked at Maguire?
Yep,
Tom.
Yeah.
I know. I've seen it.
Listen. What's the better look? Avi Glazer getting mugged off by Maguire at Wembley or that? What's the better look? We've had so many
Yeah.
moments, so they always involve Maguire. But this is what I said when we was on about it last season, though. The players, they just don't respect him. I'm sorry, they just don't. You can't.
Let the people know where they can find it. I know you got to go on. You got to get ready for it. Let people know where they can find it, man.
Yeah, man. Saeed TV people, man. Big up to everybody here, man. Make sure you like the video, man. And then when we get to is it 7K? You're next, isn't it? 7K.
We're 70 away. We're 70 away, bro.
70 away. Hopefully we get there as soon as possible. And yeah, man, make sure you like the video, man. Big up Tom as well. Big up the chat.
Yeah,
and hopefully, like I said, man. Whoa, come on, Europa League.
I'm not falling for that again. But Tom, go ahead. No, seriously, Tom. Like Anthony, we need him to improve a bit more, though, a bit quickly. Even though we have to be patient with young players, but we need him this season. We need him.
The only thing that I can maybe point towards that is coming into the season, he didn't have any preparation. That's the only thing that I can. No, it's not an excuse, but it's the only thing that I can level at it, because when we signed him, pre-season was done. You'd already started a season already, so he was having to jet in and basically learn it straight away. He doesn't know the language. He's never played here before. The only thing that he knew at Manchester United was two things: Licha Martinez and Erik ten Hag. That's it. That is all that he knew about coming here. So at the end of the day, you have to cut the players some slack. He's coming into a new country. He's got young sort of personality, if you like, the vibe, the personality, and ultimately the conditioning of the player as well. Like, he has had these little niggles this season. Like, he's been out for 2 weeks or been out for a couple of days, things like that here and there. He has had little niggles and little knocks everywhere. But the only thing I can say with Anthony is, for what he might lack in the final third, he gives us back in terms of the work rate and the defensive work. I don't care. You don't have to be the best tackler or the best presser in the world. But so long as you do the hard yards, as people call it, so when you do the hard yards, you get to your man. You beat if you have to take the tactical foul, take the yellow card, you do it. And at the end of the day, the one thing that we didn't have from players last season, especially in that Sevilla game, we didn't have the players that would stand up, that would have a bit of a fight, that would have a bit of bite about them. We've lacked those personalities, and like you say, you get that mainly from South American players. We've seen it with Martinez this season, so many times. Anthony as well, so many times. Dan Burn, Jesus Christ, he's probably like nearly 7 foot tall. Anthony's about 5'9" or something like that, 5'10". Like, at the end of the day, players play when they're in a brilliant and comfortable part of their career, not necessarily career, but life. When they're comfortable, like I said, when he settles into the Premier League more, he plays more games, he gets more to grips with it all. And yes, when he has a proper and prepared, pre-season in the summer, you go away to America, you're not with family, you can focus on football and that as a whole. When you can do that, then come to next season, and then we need to see the improvements. We need to see, like you said, Nuruddin, if he can go on the right-hand side and you can drive to the byline, if you can put the balls in the box, be more creative rather than trying to be clinical and go for goal every single time. We need to see that. But the only thing that we can say with Anthony is, when he was at Ajax, he played with a number 9. He played with an out-and-out number 9, somebody who knows the runs, knows the 18-yard box. At Man United, he doesn't have that player to make that partnership with. And I say the same thing for Sancho. Dortmund, City's academy, he's had number 9s to work with. Man United, we don't have that. That is a major weakness of us. And we know this. But a number 9 doesn't just score you goals. It also gives other players that availability and that option to think, I know where that player is always going to be. Why? 100%. Because they're a goal scorer and you get your goals inside the 18-yard box.
I mean, you work on it. You work on it in training, don't you? You work on those patterns of play. But unfortunately, Tom, we've been playing 3 games a week. You got no time in the training ground to probably do it, to work on these things.
Well, this is the thing, and this is where you were saying as well, where you had to say with Arteta last season, where he didn't have no Europe. He just had the domestic cups and the league. And you play it game by game. You play Saturday to Saturday. Or you might have the occasional Sunday, so you have the additional game to rest and prepare for. But ultimately, with Erik ten Hag, overall, you've got to say, in terms of personal development of players, he's done absolutely brilliantly. Personal development, him and his coaching staff are brilliant.
Imagine they had more time on a training ground, though, Tom.
But this is where I'm saying you take a pre-season, and yes, it's not in the middle of a fixture calendar, but take a pre-season where some of these players can actually get to grips with one another. It's not just about, your play style or anything. Get to grips, build some partnerships, learn something new about a new teammate or a new player, build something. And at the end of the day, the one thing that we can say is, when we've played Anthony and Wan-Bissaka as a partnership, they've been solid on that right-hand side. The left-hand side, when Shaw's been on it and when Marcus Rashford's been on it, that's been solid. And that is where we've got most of our goals this season, is from the wide areas, where it be crosses in the box or you have ruthless finishes. Rashford, deadly in front of goal. We know this. Anthony can blitz it into the top corner. But like with the goal that he actually scored, just get in the right area and get something on it. Because at the end of the day, if the goalkeeper's there or not, Nuruddin, you still have a chance to tap it in. You just follow the ball, lead where the line is.
True.
And at the end of the day, we saw at the weekend, for any people that didn't know, if you want a player to follow the development of, with Ollie Watkins especially, those
Brilliant.
sort of runs, and it's not just a case of it's Aston Villa, that's that level. I'm just saying, with the runs and the development of a player, Ollie Watkins did not have a role at Aston Villa. He's suddenly their best and most clinical finisher in the final third. So I don't want to hear it about development can't happen for players, because it can. Same thing with Jadon Sancho. A development can happen for that player, but it's if he has the commitment and the desire to follow out and actually work on his own game. And yes, he's had to go away from the squad for whatever reason that is. But ultimately, you keep things in-house. And Erik ten Hag, the Manchester United sort of club around Jadon Sancho, they have done that. They've kept whatever the problem was and the issue. Keep it in-house at the end of the day, because you leak it, it helps nobody. It doesn't help him, and it certainly won't help the team. And same thing with Anthony, like you were saying before, about before the World Cup, like it suddenly, as soon as he was about to go Brazil and we had that congestion fixture, like as soon as he was about to go, suddenly he pulled the UE and said, "No, I can't do this and everything." But as soon as Man United scored a goal, he was on Instagram jumping up and down his couch saying that he pulled his ankle. Like, do me a favour. But ultimately, we have to prioritise. When we go from now to the end of the season, we have to prioritise. And the only thing I'm going to say with this is, I don't always condone it at Manchester United, because we are a club where we're built on tradition to win trophies. But if top four is even the slightest bit in doubt, you chuck Europa League and you chuck Wembley with the FA Cup. You chuck both of them. We need the top four more than we need a trophy right now. We've had a moral high. We've had a bit of celebration, whether people rate the Carabao Cup or not. We've won something, and it's better than winning nothing. Whether you rate it or not, Man United were built on what? Winning a trophy. At the end of the day, you get remembered for the numbers that you put on and the medals that you put on your table at the end of your career.
But not Europa League, though. Not Europa League.
No, not Europa League. No, we have to state this. But the only thing I'm saying is, you can only, as they say, you can only play what's in front of you. You can only play with what you're in at the end of the day. And some clubs, their dream is to win a Europa League. That might be the only thing that club ever wins in their history. Villarreal against us, I don't think they've won a trophy for nearly 40, 50 years, had they not. Like, it means something to these sort of teams. So at the end of the day, if you're in it, you want to win it. And when you're at Man United, you need to win anything and everything that is available to you. Whether you like it or not, a trophy in the cabinet is better in your cabinet than in one of your rivals. And that's the only thing. And Man United can derail Manchester City in this sort of treble sort of shite that they're saying about with the FA Cup. Man United have a say in that tale if you get past Brighton. You have a say in it. So at the end of the day, I don't want to hear the nonsense around it all, because it can be done. But Erik ten Hag, he ain't a magician. He ain't suddenly going to turn Harry Maguire into Harry Beckenbauer, as Saeed called him a couple of years ago. It ain't going to happen. So we have to play with what we've got. And what we've got is a limited squad and limited options. And at the end of the day, we've always said this, and we'll make it the final point anyway. If a player's not 100%, I don't want it in the squad at all. If a player ain't 100, you don't play them. It's as simple as that. Sabitzer was the proven point. Going into that training session, if they didn't know that something was up with him, he shouldn't have played. And ultimately, they made the decision, they pulled him out of there. And I'm glad they did. Whether Eriksen's fully fit or not, if you need to be called upon, you need to be called upon at the end of the day. You can't help that. But we're lacking the options at this moment in time. Everywhere. Even goalkeeper, people were worried when De Gea went down. Mate, in that first 10 minutes, people were panicking. But the areas across the field, like you say, when you try and fight on all fronts with a limited squad that has limited abilities, you just don't have the capacities to do it. You don't. And ultimately, with Erik ten Hag, you've done well up till now, but when he gets to that summer, he knows who he's keeping and who he's going rid of. Let's be honest, he knows. And ultimately, the players that like Harry Maguire, he didn't say it, but I think he's pretty much signed him off in the summer to say, you ain't going to be a left centre back here, and if that's what you want, I can't give you that. So you're going to have to play elsewhere. And some other players, he's not going to say that about them because he still needs to use them for the rest of the season. But behind the scenes and in his own mind, he'll be thinking, you ain't going to be here if I have my way in the summer. And a lot of them, they probably won't.
No, listen, 100%. Big up everybody. No, definitely. I just hope that Erik ten Hag's not rushing people back. And I don't want that. But hey, listen, we've noticed I'm not seeing Alicia in the chat lately, and Claire lately, and Hogan as well. I hope that all three of them are doing well. Big up to Claire, Hogan, big up to Alicia as well, Sinkanova. Big up to all of you, love and light people. It's going to be very, very interesting what we do. But I just hope that nobody gets rushed back. Like I said, I'm absolutely heartbroken, United Devil. Honestly, it's my heart still breaks. Honestly, I get emotional when I think about Lisandro Martinez missing out for the season. It's just devastating. All managers post salary stakes and play academy play, especially at times of crisis like this. Yeah, well, it's not happening. Prasanna says, people like you will believe Rashford is 100% fit if they get gas and hype, but the reality is it will take an injection or some pills, then fan base will say Trashford backlog. Yeah, 100%. You know how it works, innit? You know how it works. Game Rashford picked up injury, said Nethier and I should have subbed Rashford, left Sancho Anthony to finish the game. And, they were playing well. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you, Michael. Big up to Michael. Yeah, big up Claire, Hogan, and Alicia Sinkanova. Big up to everybody. Please smash a like on the video. Become part of the community. We're 70 short of 7,000. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit that notification bell. It lets you know when we're next live. Nuruddin, the best pundit on YouTube. Take about. Oh, big up, bro. Love and light. Me. I just say it as I see it. I hate Europa League. I cannot stand Europa League. I can't stand Europa League, but it is what it is. But big up to all of you guys. Love and light. And we'll definitely see you in the next one. Big up Jarvis as well. One valuable lesson I've gained from playing football in the lower leagues that there's no substitute for game time and competition when it comes to improving. Now, 100%, I understand that. I think United would have still improved playing because of this season, specifically Jarvis, because of the congestion before the World Cup. We played so many games, and after the World Cup, so many games. That's the big because of that. I won't be that asked because Europa League we'll be playing so many games. If there was no World Cup, it's because of the World Cup. But I don't like Europa League. It's just one of those things. Nobody can ever convince me of liking Europa League. I just hate it because nothing typifies the Glazer ownership than that competition. It absolutely does. It typifies who we are as a football club with that. So big up to every one of you. Northern, you should make an effort to like the Europa League. No, I'm not Ian Fontaine. Never. Never in my life. Never in my life would I like the Europe. Never. Yeah, big up, man. Big up, brother. Love. No chance. I hate it. I hate it, especially. I might have done it if Lisandro Martinez did not get injured in the Europa League. I might have done it, but not now. I despise it. I hate it. I know hate is a strong word, but I hate it. I do hate the Europa League. I can't stand the Europa League. Ah! Don't trigger me, Georgie B. Don't trigger me. But big up to every one of you. Community Shield. I don't like. It's only one game, so I don't hate the Community Shield. I don't hate it. It's only one competition. Yeah, big up to every one of you, man. Love and light. Please let people know about the community. Like I said, we're 70 away from 7,000. So let's go, people. Love, light, take care. Peace, love, and light, people. Take care. We're out of here. Make sure you go and follow Tom Journalist 1, all one word. Tom Journalist 1 at Tom Journalist 1. Make sure you check him out. Make sure you go and check out the 226 Straight Jacket podcast. It got heated. Saeed triggered me with that Europa League BS talk. It is what it is, people. Love and light. But yeah, big up to every one of you. So Alex, his career started out in the Europa League. No, Cup Winners' Cup. Nah, the Cup Winners' Cup was something different. Europa League is UEFA Cup. The Europa League is UEFA Cup. Cup Winners' Cup was a cup in his own. I think Fred is carrying something, and that's why they're doing the something thing. Oh, you mean the FA Cup? I love the FA Cup. The oldest cup competition in the world. Oldest cup competition in the world. I love the FA Cup. No Irfan Rainey on Twitter and Irfan Rainey on Instagram. We'll go and check him out of there. Yeah, win, lose or draw. Glazers out, bankers out. Take care, people. Please let people know about the channel. Bring your friends over to the channel, man. Your like-minded friends. Big up to everybody. Win, lose or draw. Glazers out, bankers out. That's how we always end. And let's hope some players come back from injury, especially for the FA Cup. I'm not asked about the Europa League. For the FA Cup against Brighton. Take care, people. Love and light. Take care. Eid Mubarak, man. Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak, yeah, for Saturday. Hopefully Saturday Eid. Take care, people.